This is the Hub on Hollywood. I'm James. Jamie is on assignment, but we still love movies. Thank you so much for tuning into this week's episode. Of course, this week we have more casting calls, a lot of interesting ones, and one that's on a short deadline. And so we're going to get through this, and you're going to apply and get that gig. Also, we have news regarding James Bond and the Batman. The second trailer for James Bond drops. Production for the Batman stops. We will explain why. Also, a full spoiler-free review of Bill and Ted Face the Music. Was it an excellent adventure or was it a bogus journey? We will find out. Also, we have to talk about the passing of Chadwick Boseman. He passed away last week at the age of 43. We talk about the legacy of the actor and the future of Black Panther. But first, again, thank you so much for tuning in and watching. If you are watching on YouTube, please subscribe, please like, comment down below, join the conversation. Also, if you're watching us on Facebook, please share. That helps out a lot. If you are listening to us on any of the major podcasting streaming services, thank you so much. Please tell your friends. You can find us on Instagram and on Twitter at Hub on Hollywood. Please follow Jamie and I on our Twitters down below. But yeah, thank you so much for tuning in. Oh, let's get straight into the casting calls. First off, for Slate casting, we're looking for athletic families. This is for a TV commercial, non-union gig that pays $2,500 for the entire family. No acting experience is necessary. Looking for a mom, a dad, 3 or more kids between 6 and 16 years old who love to play sports. If you're interested, if your family's interested, send a current picture of your family, the age of the kids, what city you live in, and contact information. Send that to slateselftape@gmail.com, slateselftape@gmail.com. Hopefully you're watching this morning because they're asking for this to be sent in on September 4th, tonight at 5 p.m., by 5 p.m. So send your information to slateselftape@gmail.com. Boston casting, looking for background performers with 2 or more family members. This is for the movie Shrine. It's about a struggling journalist who stumbles upon a series of strange events in a small New England town and uses them to salvage his career. All 18-year-old actors, 18-year-old or older, who live together in a family unit. This is a non-union job that shoots between September 18th and October 12th. The family that gets picked will be given a COVID test. For those who do test positive, if you test positive, you're going to have to quarantine and self-isolate during the entirety of the shoot. Any families interested in all this, send your information to Cheryl at bostoncasting.com. That's Cheryl, Cheryl at bostoncasting.com. Ooh, this is a good one. Boston Casting looking for a fit Santa. A fit Santa. We're getting closer to Christmas. This is for a commercial that shoots on September 21st and the 22nd. This pays $3,000. Submit your resume, photo, bio, where you live. Send that to Boston Casting Submit 2 at gmail.com. That's Boston Casting Submit 2 at gmail.com. A fit Santa with style and class. All right, Slate Casting looking for real runners. Slate Casting looking for an ethnically diverse group of women between 22 and 35 years old. This is a non-union job with no acting experience necessary. Send your current photo, name, contact information, what city you live in, and a brief description of your running routine, your running experience. Send that to Ashley at slatecasting.com. Put female runner in the subject line. Ashley at slatecasting.com. This shoots on September 15th or the 16th, and this pays $500 for the day. $500 for running. You couldn't pay me to run. Ha. Well, send in your resume as soon as possible for that one. All right, so those were the casting calls. Now for our entertainment news. James Bond, the second trailer has dropped. Now the first trailer dropped 10 months ago. That's because the movie was supposed to be coming out in March of this year, but of course we know why that did not happen. Instead, the movie got pushed back to November of this year. And we see car crashes, we see motorcycles going up ramps, machine guns, kicks, punches, a lot of faces being punched. We see Daniel Craig reprising his role as James Bond. This James Bond, he's left active service, but his peace is short-lived when Felix, an old friend from the CIA, turns up asking for help, leading Bond onto a trail of a mysterious villain armed with dangerous new technology. Ana de Armas is starring in this movie as Paloma. Ralph Fiennes is back as M. Rami Malek as the villain Safin. And Christoph Waltz reprising his role as Christoph Waltz. So really excited for that movie. Also excited for The Batman. However, we are finding out that it has been delayed, the production, because Robert Pattinson, he has tested positive for COVID-19. Vanity Fair reports that this comes just days after the movie got back to shooting outside of London. Warner Brothers says Pattinson is in isolation and the movie has been temporarily paused. No word on his actual health or his condition, but we're hoping for the best. Hope you get well soon. Presumably he'll be under quarantine, self-isolation for 2 weeks or so, and then hopefully they'll get back into shooting. From what I understand, they've only shot about 25% of the film so far, and that 25% already looks great. That's what we've seen in the trailer that dropped last week or so, and the movie looks fantastic. I can't wait for them to resume shooting, because this is a movie that I definitely want to see and probably would like to see in theaters, and by then, next year, hopefully things are better then, and so we'll love to see that in theaters. But now moving on to the difficult, hard story news that we've all been, hearing and dealing with for the past week. Chadwick Boseman passed away last week at the age of 43 after battling colon cancer for 4 years. No one knew he was battling cancer. During that time, during those 4 years, he came out in Captain America, Civil War, Marshall, Black Panther, both of the Avengers that shot back-to-back, 21 Bridges rather, and Da 5 Bloods, which was recently released on Netflix, directed by Spike Lee, already getting a lot of Oscar buzz, the movie. I haven't seen it yet. It is on the list, but I may be seeing it sooner than expected, just because of his performance. And Marvel, they just released this tribute video of Chadwick Boseman, which was done very well. The reaction has been enormous all over social media. Of course, you have his Black Panther castmates and crew members who are pouring their heart and soul online, talking about his passing, but also the rest of the Marvel universe, the actors, and it's really hitting everybody, especially, of course, the fans of Black Panther and the fans of Chadwick Boseman. The reaction on social media, we're seeing pictures of kids dressed as Black Panther paying tribute, showing the Wakanda Forever arm signal. Pictures all around, their toys being shared, public celebrity tributes all around. And it goes to show not only the respect for Chadwick Boseman, but the impact that he also had. Of course, he was in other movies, including 42. He also played James Brown. And in every performance, captivated. You were just captivated by his performance. And that's one thing that everybody keeps talking about, is that his work ethic. He always brought everything to it. And there was more than just reading lines for Chadwick Boseman. He was really analyzing his characters and the role that they played in society and the benefits that it could play to society. And he definitely saw that after Black Panther came out. The response, the worldwide global response to Black Panther, of course, making more than $1 billion, but also creating the social and sending the social message all around, showing that yes, films filmed with predominantly minority actors, Black, African American, and for the Black Panther in that case, those movies and other movies that have come out recently can bring in an audience. People do want to hear these stories that are not always told, or are not always told with the right state of mind or the same kind of experience that somebody is going through in their own daily life. In this example, Black Panther was a great way to bring representation for a lot of African American Black children out there. they saw somebody that they can look up to. Of course, you can look up to all the other superheroes, Captain America, Iron Man, Spider-Man, but it's another thing to be able to look at somebody that looks like you and look to them to be a role model. And that's what Chadwick Boseman did. That's what his character T'Challa, the Black Panther, did for many people. And hopefully this opens the door, or has been opening the door, for more directors, more actors to not only work in front of the camera, but also behind the camera and get those stories that need to be told. Representation, very important thing. Now, that being said, of course, the tributes are endless, but there's this other aspect that you're looking into this, because also in the works, Chadwick Boseman, despite battling cancer and seeking treatment for 4 years, he was still making movies, and he was still planning to make Black Panther 2. From what we hear, according to Variety, this sudden loss was, no one expected it, not even Chadwick Boseman or the people in his inner circle. For the past recent few months, it looked like he had been losing weight, but it wasn't until this past week that people really thought that anything was wrong, or too far or too bad to recover from, and his passing surprised everybody. Apparently, the day that he passed away, an urgent email was sent to Kevin Feige, of course, head of the MCU, and talking about his health. And when Kevin Feige finally read the email, about an hour later, Chadwick Boseman had already passed away. And Disney says at this moment they're dedicated on paying tribute to Boseman, and they're not focused on Black Panther 2 at all. But at the same time, there's no way to ignore that Disney needs to figure out and make decisions of what to do and where to go from here. Black Panther, a very important character in the MCU, a very popular character in the MCU. Not only, of course, was he going to be coming out in his own sequel, but he also was going to be interconnected with other Marvel characters and other Marvel movies. So where do you go from here? A lot of unanswered questions for Disney. Now, there are options people are talking about. One of those options is finding another actor to become T'Challa, the Black Panther, do what they did with Don Cheadle in Iron Man 2, and replace, I'm forgetting the character's name, but War Machine, Brody. So replacing that character in a way of, not really referencing it, maybe doing a little nod, but not really acknowledging that there has been a replacement. That one I could see getting mixed, very strong opinions if Disney Marvel went with that route. Or do they go the comic route? And in the comics, T'Challa's sister, the Black Panther sister, Shuri, she takes up the mantle of the Black Panther. And that's in the comics, and that's something that the movie is apparently looking into, or aspects of that comic they were looking into incorporating that into Black Panther 2 already. So that seems like the most likely option, but there's also the third option. Should Disney just retire the Black Panther character, the T'Challa character, and just let it be, kind of have Black Panther in the background of the universe, mentioned in passing? You can, maybe reference battles or things going on in the opposite world, or I don't know what you can do much, but kind of have that character still exist, but not really interact with everybody. And that's unfortunate, but retiring the character has been talked about. So there's that. I think the better option would be to move the mantle to Shuri and have her take up the mantle of the Black Panther. But what do you think? Do you think that the character should be retired? Do you think someone should replace him? Would it be disrespectful? Should that not even be considered as an act of disrespect for somebody to play that character? Or should Shuri take up the mantle? What do you think? I really am curious. I'm not sure what the right decision to do is. If I was Disney, I'd be a whole lot richer, but also would have many more hard decisions to make, which I'm thankful I don't have to do. But yeah, let me know what you think. Please let us know. If you're watching us on YouTube, please comment down below. If you are not already, please hit subscribe. That really does help out. Also, like, share, tell your friends. If you're on Facebook, if you're watching us there, please share, tell your friends. Again, if anybody you know, maybe your own family, you feel like you fit the description of the casting calls, and you live in the New England, Boston region, go ahead, send this information to friends, family, or even for yourself. Take it and go apply. You could be in a TV commercial or in a big screen movie. Also, follow us on Instagram. We're at Hub on Hollywood. Also on Twitter at Hub on Hollywood. Let us know what you think. What should they do with the Black Panther? I'm very curious. Let me know. But let's get to it. Bill and Ted Face the Music. They are going to face my review right now. Let me just start by saying, if you like Bill and Ted, Excellent Adventure and Bogus Journey, I recommend this movie. I also suggest watching 1, 2, and then 3 in the order, because it does help kind of reset the characters, for me at least. It helped reset the characters, and it was an easy transition to go from 2 to 3. 2 young Keanu, young Alex Winter, to current day Alex Winter and current day Keanu Reeves. So that was pretty good. And also, each movie, including this one, is only an hour and 30 minutes long. So I recommend seeing 1 and 2 and then go into 3. So Bill and Ted Face the Music. It follows the dynamic duo 30 years later, Alex Winter, Keanu Reeves, reprising their roles as Bill and Ted. They're older, they're married to the princesses, and they each have a daughter, Thea, played by Samara Weaving, and Billy, played by Bridget Lundy-Paine. So basically, Bill and Ted, they're at a crossroads in life right now. Now, after part 2, they found major success as the band Wild Stallions, but as the years go by, they just haven't been able to create the song that they were destined to create, that would not only unite the world but bring peace and order to the universe. They haven't been able to find or create that song yet, and they're getting a little bit desperate to find it, and we find them at a point where they're trying with different songs, different genres, different instruments, and because of that, their popularity has waned through the years to a point where they're pretty much off the map. And that's when we get introduced to Rufus's daughter, played by Kristen Schaal. She shows up to meet this Bill and Ted that are confused and not sure what to do anymore. She shows up from the future and tells them that they actually need to create and perform the song tonight, or else all reality will be destroyed. And that leads to Bill, Ted, and their daughters going on this journey to find the song and the band to perform it with. And basically, I really like the movie. It's not perfect. It may not be the best Bill and Ted movie, but it's fun, it's funny, and I think it's a nice finish to the Bill and Ted trilogy. And it even gets emotional at one point too. Alex Winter, Keanu Reeves, they jump right back into their roles as Bill and Ted. They're still a bunch of goofballs, but with a heart of gold. Their daughters, very similar to them. They have their similar personalities and quirks, but they are their own characters, and that is really cool to see. Thea and Billy, them being added to the story, to the trilogy, really worked out for me. I really liked Billy's character, played by Bridget Lundy-Paine. She really got Keanu Reeves' mannerisms, the way he speaks, the way he moves. She really got that down, and that part was really fun for me. In this film, both Bill and Ted, they try finding the world-uniting song by going into the future and meeting alternative universe versions of themselves, and that creates a lot of fun. Different versions of Bill and Ted, from Bill and Ted, the lowlifes, to Bill and Ted, the prison, juiced-up, muscle-bound dudes that are in prison. You've seen them in the trailer, so we see different versions of that, which is really fun for them to play around with. Thea and Billy, they go on their own journey. They instead of going to the future with their fathers, they go to the past because they try to find the best members to put the band together, the best band to play the best song that would unite the world. Their journey was fun. I will admit, though, I would have preferred if both the Thea and Billy hung out and had more screen time with their fathers as they worked together to try to save all reality and keep space and time together. Their own journey was fun, and them interacting with different historical characters, and even modern day surprise character, which I found out, or surprise celebrity, which was a fun surprise. Their journey was fun. I wish they would have hung out more with Bill and Ted. They're right together in the beginning and right together in the ending, but the middle ground they were kind of missing, and I would have loved to see more of them going back and forth. But overall, I think this is a very fun movie, really funny movie. Again, Bill and Ted, not the most groundbreaking. It's not Citizen Kane. You know what you're going into pretty much. You're going into a feel-good movie that's fun, quirky, and again at one point got me a little emotional, and which I thought was pretty surprising, but really cool also. As for the daughters, Thea and Billy, again Samara Weaving and Bridget lundy-paine. Very good additions. I thought they brought something to the movie. It wasn't just this new, we're just bringing in new characters just to bring in new characters, kind of like with Dumb and Dumber. When there was Dumb and Dumber 2, Harry and Lloyd had, or at least I think it was Lloyd, he had a daughter. Or Lloyd, see, I didn't even watch it. That's why I love Dumb and Dumber. It's one of my favorite all-time comedies. That's why I didn't see Dumb and Dumber 2. And so, but this one I thought it was a good addition to have the daughters in. They did play a really significant role, and they were very funny and fun. We also had reprising characters or reprising actors come back from the first movie and second movie, which was really fun to also see. Which is also why I recommend watching 1 and 2 and then this one, because it just seems seamless, and it's very nice to see these characters pop back into. So overall, I think Bill and Ted Face the Music was an excellent adventure. I recommend it. It is on video on demand right now and playing at some theaters. Again, some theaters across the country, including AMC, have reopened, and so they're playing at some theaters, but also on video on demand. That's how I saw it. It's $25 to rent, I think $30 to buy. So I recommend it. Go watch Bill and Ted 1, 2, and then 3. But I think that was about it for the Hub on Hollywood. Well, tune in next week for the new episode for the Hub on Hollywood. We will be talking about, of course, more movie news, entertainment news. Hopefully, we will be able to review another movie that comes out, a surprise movie. But until next week, I'm James. This was the Hub on Hollywood. And again, in honor of Chadwick Boseman, Wakanda forever.